Chapter 3.3 Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, born 8th January 1942. He is an English theoretical physicist, cosmologist, author and director of research at the Centre of Theoretical Cosmology within the Cambridge University. Cosmology means the science of the origin and development of the universe. Hawking was the first to set out a theory of cosmology explained by a union of the general theory of relativity and quantum machines. Theory of relativity? It states that force of gravity arises from curvature of space of times. Quantum machine. A quantum machine is a human-made device whose collective motion follows the laws of quantum mechanics. Hawking is an honorary fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, FRSA, a lifetime member of the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, and a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award in the US. This lesson gives us an insight about the great scientist, his life, and his works. Honorary fellow means an academic researcher. Stephen Hawking, born January 8, 1942, is a British scientist, professor and author who has done groundbreaking work in physics and cosmology and whose books have helped to make science accessible to everyone. Groundbreaking means innovative or advanced. Cosmology is the science of the origin and development of the universe. At the age of 21, while studying cosmology at the University of Cambridge, he was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is a neurological disease that weakens muscles. Part of his life story was depicted in the 2014 film, The Theory of Everything. Depicted means represented. Over the years, Stephen Hawking has written or co-written a total of 15 books. A few of the most noteworthy include: in 1988, Hawking catapulted to international prominence with the publication of A Brief History of Time. Catapulted means launched. Prominence means celebrity. The short, informative book became an account of cosmology for the masses and offered an overview of space and time, the existence of God, and the future. The work was an instant success, spending more than 4 years atop the London Sunday Times bestseller list. Atop means on the top. Since its publication, it has sold millions of copies worldwide and been translated into more than 40 languages. A Brief History of Time also wasn't as easy to understand as some had hoped. So, in 2001, Hawking followed up his book with The Universe in a Nutshell, which offered a more illustrated guide to cosmology's big theories. Illustrated guide means explained with pictures and graphical material. In 2005, Hawking authored the even more accessible A Briefer History of Time, which further simplified the original work's core concepts and touched upon the newest developments in the field like string theory. Core means central or basic. Together, these 3 books, along with Hawking's own research and papers, articulate the physicist's personal search for science's holy grail, a single unifying theory that can combine cosmology, the study of the big, with quantum mechanics, the study of the small, to explain how the universe began. Articulate means to express fluently. Holy grail here means a thing which is eagerly pursued or sought after. It's the kind of ambitious thinking that has allowed Hawking, who claims he can think in 11 dimensions, to to lay out some big possibilities for humankind. Ambitious means having strong desire to succeed. Dimensions means aspect, feature, or a fact. He's convinced that time travel is possible and that humans may indeed colonize other planets in the future. Colonize means to settle. In September 2010, Hawking spoke against the idea that God could have created the universe in his book, The Grand Design. Hawking previously argued that belief in a creator could be compatible with modern scientific theories. Compatible means being similar to. His new work, however, concluded that the Big Bang was the inevitable consequence of the laws of physics and nothing more. Inevitable means unavoidable. Consequence means a result of an action. Because there is a law such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing. Hawking said, "Spontaneous creation is the reason there is something rather than nothing, why the universe exists, why we exist." The Grand Design was Hawking's first major publication in almost a decade. Within his new work, Hawking set out to challenge Sir Isaac Newton's belief that the universe had to have been designed by God simply because it could not have been born from chaos. Chaos means confusion. It is not necessary to invoke God to light the blue touch paper and set the universe going. Hawking said, "Invoke means authority of some action." At the age of 21, Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. In a very simple sense, the nerves that controlled his muscles were shutting down. At the time, doctors gave him 2.5 years to live. Hawking first began to notice problems with his physical health while he was at Oxford. On occasion, he would trip and fall, or slur his speech. He didn't look into the problem until 1963, during his first year at Cambridge. Slur means words are not clear while speaking. For the most part, Hawking had kept these symptoms to himself. But when his father took notice of the condition, he took Hawking to see a doctor. For the next 2 weeks, the 21-year-old college student made his home at a medical clinic where he underwent a series of tests. They took a muscle sample from my arm, stuck electrodes into me, and injected some radio-opaque fluid into my spine and watched it going up and down with x-rays as they tilted the bed, he once said. After all that, they didn't tell me what I had, except that it was not multiple sclerosis, and that I was an atypical case. Multiple sclerosis means abnormal hardening of body tissue. Atypical means very unusual. Eventually, however, doctors did diagnose Hawking with the early stages of ALS. It was devastating news for him and his family. But a few events prevented him from becoming completely despondent. Diagnose means detection of a medical condition. Devastating means causing a severe shock. Despondent means discouraged. The first of these came while Hawking was still in the hospital. There, he shared a room with a boy suffering from leukemia. Leukemia is a malignant progressive disease in which the bone marrow and the other blood-forming organs produce increased number of abnormal white blood cells. Relative to what his roommate was going through, Hawking later reflected, his situation seemed more tolerable. Not long after he was released from the hospital, Hawking had a dream that he was going to be executed. He said this dream made him realize that there were still things to do with his life. In a sense, Hawking's disease helped him become the noted scientist he is today. Before the diagnosis, Hawking hadn't always focused on his studies. Before my condition was diagnosed, I had been very bored with life, he said. There had not seemed to be anything worth doing. With a sudden realization that he might not even live long enough to earn his PhD, Hawking poured himself into his work and research.
English Workshop 1. Observe the timeline and search the occurrences according to it. Prepare a chart. Answer. January 8, 1942, Stephen Hawking was born. 1969, forced to use wheelchair. 1970, taken to one of Hawking's graduate students to help manage his care and work. 1988, lost the voice. Year 2001, The Universe in Nutshell. 2005, The Briefer History of Time. 2009, 1. Retired from the post of location professor at Cambridge. 2. Failed to appear at a conference in Arizona. 2010, The Grand Design. 2014, Life Story of Hawking, depicted in the film The Theory of Everything. 2. Make the list of books written by Stephen Hawking. Name of the book. What's in it? Topics covered. His contribution to the world. 1. A Brief History of Time, 1988. 1. It gives the information of cosmology. 2. It offers an overview of space, time, and the existence of God and the future. His books help to make science accessible. 2. The Universe in a Nutshell, 2001. It offered more to cosmology's big theories, gave more specified illustrations to the theories. 3. A Briefer History of Time, 2005. It was a simplification of the original work and core concepts. It highlighted the newest developments in the field like string theory. 4. The Grand Design, 2010. 1. Explains the recent scientific thinking about the mysteries of the universe like when and how did the universe begin? Why do we exist? Why does the universe exist? The book proposes a framework for discoveries in the answer to life, the universe, and everything else. 3. Make a list of Hawking's physical inabilities after 1963. A. Diagnosed with ALS. B. Physical control over his body diminished. C. Use of wheelchair. D. Speech became slurred. E. He lost his voice. F. Chest infection. 4. Shape your mind. Complete the network of cluster diagram with the name of great personalities and their contribution. Field of excellence. A. Fine art. Answer. 1. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo's sketches and paintings depict a scientific phenomenon. His anatomical drawings were used in medical schools in 19th century. 2. Rabindranath Tagore. He wrote our national anthem, Jana Gana Mana. 3. Michelangelo. He created the statue of Da Pieta. B. Mathematics. 4. Pythagoras. He created Pythagorean theorem. 5. Archimedes. He provided exact numerical value of pi. 6. Euclid. He is known as father of geometry. C. Science. 7. Sir Isaac Newton. A. Law of gravitation, gravity. B. Theory on tides. 8. Albert Einstein. Theory of relativity. 9. Louis Pasteur. A. Pasteur contributed greatly towards the advancement of medical science, developing cures for rabies, anthrax, and other infectious diseases. D. Literature. 10. William Shakespeare. He was an English poet, playwright, and the world's preeminent dramatist. Notable work: Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar. 11. Rabindranath Tagore. 1. Tagore was a Bengali polymath who reshaped Bengali literature, music, and Indian art. 2. Nobel Prize in Literature. Notable work: Gitanjali, Gora, Jana Gana Mana, Rabindra Sangeet. 12. Khushwant Singh, journalist, editor, and novelist. Notable work: his outstanding novels are Train to Pakistan, 1956, The Company of Women, 1999, Truth, Love and a Little Malice, 2002. The Good, the Bad and the Ridiculous, 2013. Five. Complete the following web. Answer. Stephen Hawking's achievements. Nerves controlling muscles stopped working. The Brief History of Time. The Grand Design. The Universe in a Nutshell. Wrote 15 books. Wrote numerous scientific papers. A Briefer History of Time. 6. Explain how the life of Stephen Hawking proves the proverb, every cloud has a silver lining. Write it down in your notebook. Answer. The proverb, every cloud has a silver lining means every bad situation has a good aspect to it. One should never feel hopeless because difficult times always lead to better days, like in the case of Stephen Hawking's. Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, at the age of 21 years. It was a devastating news for him and his family, but he did not give up and lose hope. Eventually, he lost all the control of his body. He directed the program through a cheek muscle attached to a sensor. The darkness and sorrows of his life did not affect him. He remained optimistic and hopeful, carried his work ahead without getting tired. Thick and dark clouds sometimes obstruct the sun, but as time passes, the clouds move off and the sun comes out from behind it. These types of calamities are only momentary. Whenever there is shadow, light is always nearby. So we should never give up and face the situation positively with a big hope ahead. 7. Do you agree or disagree with the following statements? Justify your stand or answer by quoting a line from the text. A. Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Disagree. Statement. Hawking was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. B. Hawking believed that man cannot live in other planets in the future. Disagree. He convinced that time travel is possible and that humans may indeed colonize other planets in the future. C. Though Hawking lost control over his body, he writes with a prolific rate with the help of assistants. Agree. Through the program and help of assistants, Stephen Hawking has continued to write at a prolific rate. D. Hawking has written or co-written more than 25 books. Disagree. Stephen Hawking has written or co-written a total of 15 books. 8. The following incidents in Stephen Hawking's life are given in jumbled order. Arrange the incidents in proper sequences as per their order of occurrence in Hawking's life. A. Hawking's book, The Universe in a Nutshell, offered illustrated guide to cosmology's big theories. Answer. Hawking published the book A Brief History of Time that offered an overview of space and time. B. Hawking published the book A Brief History of Time that offered an overview of space and time. Answer. Hawking's book The Universe in a Nutshell offered illustrated guide to cosmology's big theories. C. Hawking was unable to attend a conference in Arizona. Hawking published A Brief History of Time that contained the newest development. D. Hawking was diagnosed with ALS while studying cosmology at the University of Cambridge. Hawking was diagnosed with ALS while studying cosmology at the University of Cambridge. E. Hawking published A Brief History of Time that contained the newest development. Hawking was unable to attend a conference in Arizona. 9. Fill in the blanks with the proper form of the verbs as per the subject. 1. Mother dash a good meal. Cook cooks. Mother cooks a good meal. 2. Mother and daughter dash a good meal. Mother and daughter cook a good meal. 3. The rise and fall of the empire dash recorded in history is R. The rise and fall of the empire is recorded in history. 4. Neither Ritesh nor Alok dash well. Play plays. Neither Ritesh nor Alok plays well. 5. Either of the two dash guilty is R. Either of the two is guilty. 6. Everyone dash mistakes. Makes. Everyone makes mistakes. 7. That news dash published today is R. That news is published today. 8. 8 lakh rupees dash a big amount was where. 8 lakh rupees was a big amount. 9. The committee dash approved of it. Has, have. The committee has approved of it. 10. The cost of all the goods dash risen. Has, have. The cost of all the goods have risen. 10. From the following sentences, underline the nouns and encircle the determiners that specify the noun in a noun phrase. Articles, possessive pronouns, demonstratives or quantifiers. 1. He lost his voice for good. His, possessive pronoun. Voice, noun. 2. Over the years, Hawking has written 15 books. 15. Quantifier. Books, noun. 3. These 3 books articulate his search for science's holy grail. These, demonstrative. Books, noun. 4. A few events prevented him from despondency. A. Article. Event, noun. 5. That dream made him realize it. That, demonstrative. Dream, noun. 11. Complete the information from the following graphic organizer and prepare a summary. Summary maker. Title of the text. The discovered light knowledge. A. Name of the personality. Ruskin Bond. B. Age. 83 years. C. Books as author. 1. The Blue Umbrella. 2. A Flight of Pigeons. 3. The Room on the Roof. 4. Rusty, the Boy from the Hills. 5. A Handful of Nuts. D. Field of Excellence. Excelled as an author with his 5 priceless, enchanting stories of childhood, friendship, family, love and nature. E. Achievements. 1. Sahitya Akademi Award 1992. 2. Padma Shri Award 1999. 3. Padma Bhushan Award 2014. 4. Lifetime Achievement Award 2017. 12. You have come to know from the text that The Theory of Everything is a film describing the life and work of Stephen Hawking. Watch the film on the internet and write a complete review of it. You can take help of the following points while writing the review of the film. 1. Title. The Theory of Everything. 2. Characters. 1. Eddie Redmayne as Stephen Hawking. 2. Felicity Jones as Jane Hawking. 3. Charlie Cox as Jonathan Jones. 4. David Thewlis as Dennis Sciamma. 5. Simon McBurney as Frank Hawking, Stephen's father. 6. Emily Watson as Beryl Wilde, Jane's mother. 7. Maxine Peake as Elaine Mason, Stephen's second wife. 8. Harry Lloyd as Brian, Hawking's roommate. 3. Story. The movie The Theory of Everything tells the true story of when Stephen Hawking met his first wife Jane, fell in love, and dealt with a devastating medical condition. 4. Dialogues. Dialogues are heart-touching, inspirational, and emotional. 5. Picturization. A well-picturized, sensitively directed inspirational biopic by James Marsh. 6. Music. Soft musical backing and appealing music by Johann Johann. 7. Special features, if any. The Theory of Everything is a sensitively inspirational biopic centered around the great physicist Stephen Hawking and his mind-over-body struggle. 8. Opinion, views. It is a combination of biography, drama and romance. It's designed lovingly. Well-made movie. 9. Message, moral values. There should be no boundaries to human endeavor. However bad life may seem, where there is life, there is hope. By Stephen Hawking. Despite his struggle in life, his battle with a motor neuron disease, Stephen keeps up a positive attitude in life.